Welcome back, elevators, to Elevation 44. It's your girl B, and today I'm outside rocking in my rocking chair like an old lady. But I want to talk about the shadow work. This is what I want to talk about because this is what I'm so deeply involved in at the moment, is shadow work. So for those of you who are probably just tuning into my videos, welcome. Thank you for being here with us today. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all the latest information that I have coming your way. So that's number one. But number two, if you're wondering, like, shadow work, what the hell is she talking about? If you go back and watch my Scorpio new moon video, I talk about Scorpio energy and how Scorpio energy is the best energy for that death and rebirth process, which is the transformation process, the process that we would need to go through in order to get ourselves from this level to the next level. We have to increase our energy to match the level that we want to go and operate in. And so a lot of the times we're not able to manifest, we're not able to create, we're not able to call in abundance into our lives, we're not able to do the things that we truly really need to do, or things that we actually came in this lifetime to experience and to master, because we have allowed certain fears, illusions, and things to keep us, and certain energies to keep us stuck or stagnant in a certain level. And that's not what we're about. We're about growth here. We're about, elevating. This is Elevation 44. We are elevating our energy. A very important part of this piece is shadow work. And shadow work is literally facing your fears. That is just it watered down in the purest form. You are facing your fears. You are facing your inner demon. We have our lighter side, we have our shadowy side. And, in the light, there is both positive and negative. In the dark, there is both positive and negative. So I don't want us to get into the mindset that we've been programmed with, to get, stuck in this whole thing that light is good and dark is bad, because it's neither, right? They both have both aspects on both sides, because life is all about duality, polarities, just like our hand, right? You have the light side of your hand and you have the dark side of your hand. It's still a part, both are a part of your hand, and you don't have your hand without one or the other. You can't remove one part and still have your hand. So it's the same thing with us. We have this shadow aspect to us, that other side of us that is often ignored and pushed away, and that side lives in our subconscious. So if we aren't actively aware of taming that energy and working with that energy, working with that darker energy, what's going to happen is that's going to overtake us. And you can't just focus on the light and love and light and love and light and love and light without acknowledging that other part of yourself as well, because we need to learn how to tame that energy and transmute it for our highest purpose. So that's pretty much, like, in a synopsis, why we want to do shadow work, because we are trying to master that energy. Now, I would say two of the biggest things that come with shadow work, one is literally facing ourselves, like looking ourselves in the mirror and being raw and honest with ourselves. Like, what are those inner demons, right? And asking them to step forth and present themselves to you. And this is hard. This is hard work, in the sense that you are really looking at yourself, not just the self that you're used to looking at every day and the self that you want to see and you want to project out to the world, but you're looking at all of yourself. Like, you are looking at you in totality, all right? And so when you are seeing that, that's kind of hard to deal with, because first of all, we're afraid to face that side of ourselves. We're afraid what we're going to see, but we cannot suppress it. We have to let that side of ourselves up, and we have to accept and acknowledge that part of ourselves as well. And then another exercise that I've been using too is like writing down a list of my deepest, darkest fears. Now, we know fears are illusions, but they've become very real in our own individual minds. Like, it's like looking on the outside in, somebody be like, why are you afraid of that? Why is that a fear for you? But when you're in it and it's in your mind and it has like planted this seed and blossomed, like fear feels very real, even though it's illusion. It's an illusion. So for me in particular, what I've done to kind of work through that and to kind of clear those things out is I've been making a list of my deepest, darkest fears. I don't have many, but the ones that I do have a powerful hold on me. And so what I've done is I've created this list, and one by one, I'm tackling head on each fear. So I'll give you an example. And this is really personal, but I feel like if I can't open up and share with you guys, like, what's the point of being able to share this information? So for me in particular, one of my biggest fears is leaving this world, and I'm not so afraid about leaving the world. It's more so being afraid to leave the world and leave my young son here to, pretty much fend for himself. I don't want to repeat the cycle of what I went through, where my parents, I had a parent that was my primary caregiver who passed when I was a young girl, and I felt like I was left back alone to deal with that pain and to also figure everything out on my own. So one of my biggest fears has been repeating that cycle where I would, leave this earth, and then my son is here going through the same process of pain and the same process of confusion and abandonment that I felt as a child. I can't control like what happens. I can't control that. And I'm so facing that particular fear head on by, working through that and really like telling myself, okay, I'm putting myself in that mindset. Okay, you're done. You're gone. You've left. He's here by himself. Now what for him? He would still be okay, because I would have to let go of that control, in the sense that I can't control every experience that happens within his life. He came here as his own soul, to have his own journey, to go through different experiences, to learn certain lessons. I can't control all of that. And part of his growth is going to be having certain experiences, some tough and some not. All I can do is be the best mother, the best teacher, the best guide for him, until he becomes of age to do that himself. I can only spend my energy and focus on preparing him and guiding him. Me spending my energy or worrying about or fearing not being able to be there to shape his experience, there's nothing I can do about that. I realized it wasn't as bad as I was making it in my mind, and I was able to just peacefully let that go. So that's just kind of a quick example of one of the fears that I was going through and working through, but I felt so much lighter once I released that. So this work is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. And I don't know if you guys see, I kind of have a little bit of dark circles under my eyes. I mean, the time change has something to do with it too, because my son is up mad early, y'all. Mad early. But the dark circles, it's coming from, not because I'm in a bad place. I'm not in a low energy place. My energy's still good. I'm still vibrating high. But it's been an emotional purging. I've been crying and letting it out and just letting those walls come down, and it feels so good. As hard as the work is, as exhausting as it is emotionally, it feels so good when you finally release and you push past that. Use this energy to your advantage. This is why this channel is here, so we talk about these things, so you don't miss your opportunity, so you get guidance on navigating this stuff. Everything in life is energy. Your energy, I'm energy. This whole experience is energy. Use the energy to your advantage to come here and master what you came to master. It's not for the faint-hearted, but those who can put in the effort and the energy to really make an effort, you're going to, like, once you get past this stuff and you knock down these walls, it becomes, it's like you're like the magician. It's like Harry Potter out here. You're just waving your wand and things are just, you're moving things with your mind. You are manifesting things within like hours, like days. Like, it's just, the potential that we have is so amazing, but we limit ourselves because of the fears, the illusions that we carry in our mind, and because we are afraid to face or accept or embrace all sides and all aspects of ourselves, so that we learn how to master the energy on both sides. You get to master the energy in the dark and in the light. It's beautiful. And then you have that balance. And that's what we need to be alchemists. Like, this is all alchemy. We're transmuting energy, but you can't do so if you aren't willing to do the work. You can't get the prize if you're not willing to walk through the fire. And right now we're walking through the fire. Well, I hope you take that little exercise that I talked about in terms of writing down a list of your fears and literally visualizing yourself going through each fear, each scenario, putting yourself in it like as it has happened, and being able to take that to push past those fears and knock those walls down. The other exercise too, and shout out to Conjure Queen, I'm not the one who came up with this. Another good exercise is, I recommend getting a black candle. And before you think black candle, whoa, what is that? A black candle is a form of protection. A black candle isn't what you think it is. So get the negative connotation of, dark or black as bad or evil out of your mind. But this exercise would be using a black candle to meditate, lighting the black candle, meditating, sitting in front of a full-length mirror, if you can. If you can't, whatever mirror you have will work. I think the best way to do this is if you are fully nude, but if you're not comfortable doing that, do what makes you comfortable. You want to sit in front of the mirror with your lit black candle. You want to be meditating on this candle while it's lit, while it's lit, and you want to face yourself in the mirror, and you want to ask your shadow self to present itself to you. Now, there are some powerful things that will happen, and most people in that one session alone, you will see your shadow self physically, and it's nothing to be afraid of. But if you aren't able to sit down and face yourself, the light and the dark, then you're not going anywhere. I'm sad to say this to you. You're not going to go far, because you have to learn how to embrace all of you and master the energy and the things that are a part of you. So I hope you try that exercise. And I also forgot to mention, when you're doing that exercise, you want to be in a dark room. That's it. So anyway, that was my message this week. I know it was a little bit on the heavier side, but I just wanted to talk about the importance of doing the shadow work and capitalizing on this energy. I hope you guys stay encouraged. Know that you're not the only one out there doing this work. We're gonna be some strong mother effers when we're done with this process. Like, the transformation that's gonna happen after November, I mean, hands down, the things that we are going to be commanding, okay, after this process, we're gonna be lit. We're gonna be able to do all kinds of stuff, and that's when we're gonna take it up another level. But we have to do this work first. All right, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Love you guys.